Hey there folks, Rel here. In case the in-depth review of the Baron G5 is just a tad bit too long for your tastes, we're going to offer up a super condensed version for your viewing pleasure. Now keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of details just left out of this, so please defer to the longer review if you have any questions. The Baron G5 is a common pool semi-auto shotgun that uses pump action reload characteristics. It's going to run you 1000 certs or 700 station cash to unlock, and it also has black and gold versions available. The Baron G5 fires 7 pellets that deal 100 damage apiece, up to 10 meters, and drop off to 60 damage at 30 meters. This means that there's a possible 700 damage per shot, barring headshots or leg shots. By comparison, your standard quick reload shotgun fires 6 pellets that deal 130 damage apiece, up to only 8 meters, and then drop off to 50 damage at 18 meters. That's a total of 780 damage per shot. 700 damage a shot means that it's a 2-shot kill on any target without both nanoweave and heavy assault overshields equipped, provided all of your pellets land. The Baron has the same pellet spread as a Jackhammer at 2.5, and this is the tightest pellet spread in the game, but unlike the Jackhammer, the Baron has a larger cone of fire, so ultimately the Jackhammer is still a lot more accurate, especially while moving. If you tally all that up, you basically have the Baron being a semi-auto shotgun with the ability to operate just barely outside of normal shotgun range. But there's plenty of downsides to go with that. The Baron fires at 200 shots per minute or 3.33 shots per second. The quick action shotguns fire at 225 shots per minute or 3.75 shots per second. This means that the Baron can spit out only 2,331 damage per second, whereas a quick reload shotgun can deal 2,925 damage per second. This is bad news bears when dealing with multiple targets, missed shots, or enemies with resistances. The Baron has a 6-round magazine by default and 42 in reserve. It can equip extended mags to jump up to 8 rounds per magazine, but quick reload shotguns also start with 6 rounds per mag, but can jump up to 10 with extended mags. According to the PlanetSide 2 players site, reloading the first round takes 1.1 seconds, and then subsequent rounds take 0.55 seconds. Using these numbers, if your Baron is empty, you'll reload the entire thing in 4.4 seconds without extended mags, and 5.55 seconds with. That would make the Baron the longest reloading shotgun in the entire game start to finish. Quick reload shotguns can reload an entire extended magazine in 2.1 seconds short and 3.22 seconds long. Through some personal testing, I actually did come out with some slightly different numbers that may or may not be accurate, but I'm going to leave that for the larger review. On top of a ridiculously long reload time and a limited magazine, you also have short but substantial delay if you try to fire the weapon in the middle of reloading it. This is bad, because single shell reloading is supposed to be a helpful feature, but instead it does more harm than good in practical application. The Baron G5 has a projectile velocity of 400 meters per second, which is good, but the advantage does not carry over to slugs, which means that it isn't really helpful. As far as attachment options go, the Baron has access to scopes 1x through 4x, including night vision and 2x reflex sights. It can equip a forward grip, laser sight, flashlight, and extended magazines, as well as slug ammunition. For scope selection, I prefer the 2x reflex, the IRNV, or the iron sights, and if you plan on using slugs, then a crosshair 3.4x is a decent choice as well, but it does tend to clutter the screen in hipfire range. For rail attachments, extended magazines is still the way to go, as it gives you a little bit more breathing room for combat reloads, and it will let you potentially drop another target per mag. The laser sight and forward grip are both about worthless because of the limited 6-round magazine and the long reload times. Slug ammunition isn't recommended on this weapon, again mostly due to the long reload time and limited ammo, but it's also worth noting that battle rifles are better in practically every situation, and are available for every class except for the Infiltrator and the Light Assault, and Infiltrator certainly doesn't lack for ranged options. If you are desperate for a semi-auto sniping weapon on your Light Assault, however, and have to use a slug shotgun, then here are some things to take note of. Slug ammunition on the Baron do 500 damage within 10 meters, and then after that it tapers off, but it never drops below a 3-shot kill to the chest unless the target has some damage resistance. The projectile velocity on slug shotguns is very slow, and the drop is pretty heavy. At 100 meters, aiming at the head means that the bullet will hit the kneecap, and even at 20 meters, you're still going to need to aim above the target's head in order to land a headshot. Lastly, the accuracy is not perfect. and moving accuracy is even worse. So if you intend to snipe with slugs, you need to be stationary, preferably in a tree and more than 40 meters from the people that you're trying to kill. This way, looking down on your targets means that bullet drop is more manageable and headshots come easier, and enemies also won't be able to pick up your unsilenced weapon on the minimap at that range. For those who aren't slug sniping, here is some weapon-specific strategy that you can consider. The Baron is made for hit and run gameplay. Use your mobility and lag compensation to your advantage. Always get the drop on enemies and bug out if you find yourself in a bad situation. Also, you want to reload whenever possible. The reload is long, but you do reload individual shells, so you should be throwing ammo into the Baron whenever you possibly can, and if someone steps up to challenge you, you should still be able to defend yourself. Accuracy is more important than spam firing. Aim at the upper chest, which is a pretty big target, and you'll hopefully let some pellets float into the head area as well. Also, don't be afraid to aim down sights, as it narrows your moving cone of fire to less than half of what it would be from the hip, and that's a pretty big deal when you're working with a 2.5 pellet spread. That said, the Baron G5 is overall an interesting weapon. It's fun, it brings something new to the table with the shell-based reloading system, but I also don't think it's on par with quick reload variants in almost every situation. Some tweaks to reload speeds would go a long way toward making the weapon more comparable. Based on the accuracy attributes and the need for constant reload management, the Baron best fits players who have at least moderate aim and moderate movement skills. Remember that all players start out with a shotgun for free, so use that as your practice weapon until you feel confident in your abilities, and then you might find the Baron a worthwhile change of pace. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and remember that I only scratched the surface of a lot of the interesting quirks about this weapon in this review, so if you have the time, feel free to check out the full review. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.